My coverage of Computex 2023 is brought to you by G-Skill, Thermaltake, Cooler Master, and Gigabyte. Welcome back, everyone. I'm visiting Phanteks, and there's a lot going on in this room. There's a lot of people, but we're going to give you a tour of what they have to offer. We got some new AIOs, we have some upgraded fans that snap together for ease of use, and we have two awesome new cases. Let's start over here with the D30 fans, now available in 140mm size. Look at that. We have three 120s right there. We've got three 140s right there. These fans were initially shown off at CES, if you guys remember. I covered them there. And they're among, let's say, there's becoming to be more and more of these types of fans on the market, which is fans that allow you to snap themselves together so that you have a single point of contact, both for the power for the fans as well as the RGB lighting. A very convenient way to go, but all the different companies have sort of taken different paths in the way they've implemented this technology. For Phanteks, they've gone with these connectors that snap together. They snap onto the side of the fan, which performs two functions. It gives you the connection, you can see right there, but it also gives you a clean sort of connector on the outside. So it looks like more of a single unit with the fans connected. As you can see, they have it set up here on their Glacier 1D30 radiator. This is actually a big boy radiator. This is a 420mm radiator. I'm getting ahead of myself though. I'm talking about the AIOs. Let's finish talking about the fans. But it's fairly easy to assemble these. You just snap these onto the side. And then bonus, you also get these little pieces that snap onto the top. Might seem like a small detail, these little edge pieces, but what's underneath here is often rubber stoppers. And I have had the experience with some of these rubber stoppers where the screw screws into them and then they start to sort of peel up at the edges. Phanteks isn't going to have that problem because the screws are not actually pushing on top of the rubber stoppers. But regardless, you're going to snap that cover on the top anyway, and it's going to give it that clean finished look. These fans also just have really nice aesthetics, and I'm not sure how well it's coming through on the camera for you guys, but the ring lighting, they have 30 LEDs going around the outside edge of each fan, and since they're using white fan blades, the LEDs sort of shine across and you can get just a really nice, smooth, fluid movement. It's a really cool effect. And it also has the same effect regardless of which type of fan you choose, because these fans are available in two different varieties. Basically, you have a push version and you have a pull version. So that does mean that you need to plan out your build ahead of time to figure out which fans you need for intake and which fans you need for exhaust. But it's basically going to give you a flipped version, so the air is always going to be pushing out this way, but whether you need a push or a pull, you get that version of the fan, and that will allow you to hide those unsightly brackets at the back of the fan housing and have it, again, a nice clean look, as you can see in some of these builds that they've assembled here, which are super clean and super nice looking. As you can see with the 140mm version, we have four different varieties: black and white, regular flow, and reverse flow. So those are your options for the new D30 140 fans. Look for these to launch later this year, probably in the September or October time frame, and the pricing is going to be $30 for a single fan or $90 for a 3-pack. Phanteks also has a new AIO that they've been working on, which does make use of those D30 fans. The Glacier 1D30 comes with the fans. This is also going to launch in about the same time frame. We're looking at October or September. At that point, you'll have a 240mm version, a 360mm version available in black and white. The pump block is not an Acetec one. They're going with a new vendor for that, and I haven't discovered many details about that at this point, but they said it's a high quality one that is just as good, if not better, as the Acetec options. And they're maintaining sort of a design aesthetic, sort of you can see sort of the edges here that kind of match up with the D30 fans to keep everything clean and looking good in your build. Oh, and we do have prices for these. It's going to be $150 for the 240mm version, $180 for the 360mm version over here, and they do have a 420mm size radiator version coming out as well, but we don't have a price or a launch date on that one yet. How about power supplies? Check out the Revolt series. Phanteks has a bit of a collaboration going on here with SeaSonic, who is the OEM for these power supplies. SeaSonic makes really high quality power supplies, and they've made a special edition, the Revolt series for Phanteks, available in 3 capacities or wattages: 1000 watts, 1200 watts, and 1600 watts. The unique thing about these, apart from the fact that it's going to be some of the first available versions of this platform from SeaSonic that are up to 80+ titanium rating, like the 1600 watt version down here, but these power supplies are not going to ship with cables installed. In fact, you will get your cables from CableMod. CableMod already has a wide variety of cables and a bunch of different finishes, colors, and everything, and they are already perfectly suited to work with SeaSonic power supplies. So you're going to have a wide range of options there. The power supply will come with the AC power cable, You will also purchase the cables separately, so that will be an added cost. But because of that, the cost of the power supplies themselves are going to be less. Like for example, the 1600 watt version is $400 versus the SeaSonic 1600 watt version of that same power supply, which is around $470 or $480. Phanteks will also tie in with the CableMod website. So depending on what case you have, you can put that in, and then CableMod will provide you the cables for the power supply, custom length for your case. You can also buy a CableMod set that's maybe more basic if you know you're not going to use all of the cables that you might have in there. So it's a good way to provide consumers with a little bit more options in terms of the custom sleeve cable kit they're going to get. It means you're not going to get a set of black flat cables or something that you're just going to ditch and not use, so it cuts down a little bit of waste. And of course, being tied in with the CableMod ecosystem means you just have lots of variety in color choices. Now I got to go to the crowded spot over here. It's busy. Let me get some footage over here with this guy with a big bushy mane of hairs in my way. I don't know what to do about that. Wait, I recognize that hair. Okay. Back at CES, we saw the Phanteks NV7, which actually launched a couple months ago. Very well received, but the Phanteks takes fan feedback into consideration, and there were some people that said, hey, the NV7's too small, and there were some people that said, hey, the NV7 is too big. So now we have an NV5 and an NV9. We're looking at the NV9 right now. This is going to be a $300 MSRP case. It's not going to ship with any fans, but it is wider and it does accommodate a lot more hardware than the previous NV7 version did. Specifically, there were a lot of people who thought that the 120 millimeter fans that fit in the NV7 could be a little bit bigger, right? 140 millimeter fans are all the rage, going up to all the 420 millimeter AIOs that are being more common on the market. Also just more expansive custom water cooling setups like you can see right here. Phanteks always sets up just like the cleanest builds in their cases. Credit to them. I mean, obviously they're trying to sell the cases and show how nice they can look, but just I just appreciate the bends that they've got going on here with this custom, I believe it's maybe acrylic or PET tubing, I'm not sure which they're using. So you're going to have a lot of the same features of the NV7, such as the cable routing pathway that they have down at the back to feed all your cables out the back side of the case, so even the rear of the case is going to have clean cable management. They have added an optional GPU bracket, a perpendicular GPU bracket that can mount right there. It's being shown off in the black version of the case. That is an add-on, just so you guys know, and it is $100. So it is a little bit pricey, but it does come with that long, lengthy PCIe Gen 4 riser cable, so you can hook up anything up to an RTX 4090 and get full speed. Here's the black version of the NV9 with just a sort of a dummy motherboard installed, so you can get a better idea of the layout without the full build.
Is bigger better? Yeah, I don't know. That's what people tell me.
Look at Kyle. Look at Kyle there with his RX 100 camera. He doesn't even have a new camera. I'm just kidding. We all love Kyle. A quick correction, actually. This riser bracket right here, which is an angled riser bracket for a GPU, which can angle it one way or the other. This one is ready, and this one will be a $99 upgrade for this case. The horizontal or perpendicular, or the one that's going to be that way that they're showing off in the black case, that one is still a prototype, still in development, so there's still TBD on price and launch date for that one.
Is this how you do videos, Paul?
Yes, yes, Steve.
Damn.
Steve, I know.
How do you know where the lens is?
Steve, I know you're still new to this whole making videos on YouTube thing.
Look, it's like silhouetted.
It's hard to see the product in front of me when your hand is in the way.
Oh, I didn't know you. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that's what you were showing.
Don't worry. It's your first time here at Computex. I'm sure you'll get the hang of things soon.
I'll eventually figure it out.
Get a roomie.
Wait, I gotta point the camera at you.
I don't know which camera to look at.
Steve from Gamers Nexus, ladies and gentlemen, the man himself. Okay. A little bit of detail work here on the I/O as well for the NV9. They have added a reset button. I like having a reset button, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to accidentally push it. So they've made it recessed, both on this one and the NV5. Also, they have a 2-channel RGB controller built into the case, which is very convenient, but they got some feedback that said, it's kind of difficult to switch back and forth between those. So they are revamping this one for the final version when this launches. So it's going to be able to sort of sync up both channels at the same time. And then over here we have the NV5, because like I said, some people said the NV7 was too small. Some people said it was too big. People who said it was too big now have possibly an NV5 to choose from. Over here you can see a build list version of this chassis so you can get a bit of a better idea of the inside. You can see they got a built-in GPU support bracket there, which is nice. They did need to move the power supply down to the bottom on this one in order to maintain the layout and also to maintain the reasonable price. This one is going to be $130 and it's launching in August. Yeah, 130 bucks US dollars. That's a pretty good price for a case of this quality and caliber. I like some of the details in here, like the 90-degree angled pass-through grommets. Also the beautiful paint job. Phanteks always has a really nice paint job on their cases. Some little details like the power supply shroud down at the bottom. You can actually remove this panel with the thumb screw, which means if you have a power supply installed and like it's modular and you need to plug a plug into like over on this side and you're reaching in from that side, you don't have to like completely disassemble your build in order to do that. I thought that was a really nice detail. As mentioned, the I/O up here on top includes a Type-C, which is really nice, especially on a case that's a little bit more towards the affordable side of things. And then again, here you can see that recessed reset button so you don't accidentally push that while you're trying to hit power. Once again, some super nice builds that they have set up in this case to show just the kind of premium look you can get if you drop in some high-end hardware, if you drop in some D30 fans. Once again, the NV5 and the NV9, just like the NV7, aren't going to ship with fans, so that allows you to choose your own fans. It does add a little bit to the cost of the case, but just so you guys know, if you're considering a purchase. A late addition to the set of hardware that we're looking at today is this LCD screen. It's a 5-inch LCD. It's actually 1440p resolution. You can see they have one installed in the NV5 down here. This would, of course, easily slot in with an NV5 or an NV7 or an NV9, but it is universal because they're going to have a white version with a white housing. Like this one, they'll also have it in black. It's got some brackets at the back that you can remove, so you can mount it in a variety of different ways, whether you want to use the magnets. If you want to mount it to a 120mm fan bracket, you can do that too. You can pop those off, and you can see there's the connection down there at the bottom. It's just going to use an HDMI as well as a micro USB for power. They're also planning to launch this around the October-September timeframe when a lot of the other products I've been talking about today are going to launch. No word on price yet, though, since it's still in development. And there is a quick look at it in action. There is another upgrade, possibly, for the NV5 you might be interested in, as we take a look at yet another gorgeous build over here with the cold blue and white aesthetic. There's extra LEDs on this. You of course have the accent LED that goes along the edge of the power supply. That's part of the case, but this one has another one that's running along the side here, back to the back, up the side, across the front, and across the front again, I suppose. That's an add-on LED kit specifically made for the NV5, and that is going to be 70 bucks. But guys, that's all the time I have for here at the Phanteks Suite from Computex 2023. I'd like to say a big thank you to my sponsors for this event, Thermaltake, G-Skill, Gigabyte, and Cooler Master. I have lots more videos coming at you real soon. Check out the playlist if you haven't. Check out my store, subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Woo!